Good morning, friends. This is Evelyn Herman, the Early Kids Life Director at Cypress Bible Church, and it's my pleasure to be with you again today. Recently, I was taking a walk, and I walked to get my exercise in, and some days it's a lot of fun, and then other days it's challenging and opens up my mind to thinking about God and life and all that stuff. So this one day I was walking and really just dreading. It was hot. I was tired and I didn't really want to walk that day. And as I look down the road, all I could see ahead was just grass and gravel and road, and thinking, oh, this is going to be a long walk that day. Couldn't really focus my thoughts. And then I looked up and the most beautiful sky opened up to me, the trees. I remember making a Facebook post about it because, see, sometimes when we look down the road, we can be swayed in not a good way to look at things as difficult. And yet, when we look up, God opens up great possibilities to us. That day I could see birds in the trees, beautiful birds. I could see the clouds in the sky when it was a very clear sky. And somehow that boosted my spirits to where I got a hymn in my head. I started humming as I walked along. And much like life today, if we look at what's happening down here on this earth, it is pretty difficult to figure out how things are going to work out. But when we look up, when we look to God, everything becomes possible. See, that's the God who created the universe, who sustains it. And he's the God who raised Jesus from the dead and has power and has given us his power through his Holy Spirit. And in that whole process that day, I thought of this verse: set your minds on things that are above, not on things of the earth. And that's Colossians 3:2. Because I was just thinking to myself, when you were so focused on the pandemic and the whole racial tensions and just how mean people are being with each other in social media and otherwise, and the cost of things that are going up, you can become so consumed with that you don't see what God has for you right there. And so that was a great reminder to me. Not only that, but God gives us his word to encourage us and to help us encourage others as well. And when we live as people who are looking up, it just opens up such possibilities of hope for us. And as I read further in Colossians, and I want to share that with you, in verse 12, it says, to put on then as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience, bearing with one another. If one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other. As the Lord has forgiven you, so you also must forgive. And above all else, love, which binds everything together. And I just so love that portion of it, because I think when we're truly loving each other, it does bind us together. It does make a difference. And then the last verse that I want to share with you the last verse 15, and let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which indeed you were called in one body, and be thankful. See, peace can only come to us through God, through believing and trusting and going to him. And then the part about being thankful, it is very difficult sometimes in this time to see things to be thankful for, but every day I try to make it a habit of looking up and then finding those things. I try to list 5 things for that day that I can be thankful for. And that exercise really helps me focus on what is true and just what is good, and that we serve a good God, and He wants us to keep looking up. So my challenge to you today is to look up. You focus on looking down, life's not going to be that great, but with God, all things are possible. I pray that for you. I pray that God would give us the grace and the strength to continue in this difficult time. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.